Hello, my name is Kerwin Manning. I live in Pasadena, California, and I'm starting this first video, which I hope to become a part of a series of videos that will just provide an inside look into someone who has been given the challenge of prostate cancer, who has accepted the challenge, and what I choose to say, I'm on the road to victory now. I really also chose to do the videos because as I begin to investigate and research prostate cancer online and through YouTube and other channels, I realized that there are very few examples of African American men who were battling prostate cancer and who were sharing their story for whatever reason. Then I also found some very alarming statistics concerning the disparities in treatment and diagnosis for African American men as it relates to the general population of men. And I just knew in my heart that that's not right. And I decided almost immediately that if I have to be on this journey, then I want to help somebody else who may have to be on the journey as well. So I want to share today just a little bit about my own personal diagnosis. I want to talk about treatments and then moving forward from there. And then that's it for this time. And I've got to go back. I don't want to bore you, but I've got to go back about a year. Because a year ago in December, when I turned 49, I made a decision personally to get in shape. I was almost 200 pounds, 199.6. And at 49, I didn't want to turn 50 in a year and not be in shape. So I just made a decision. I can tell you about that later and maybe even show you some pictures at some point. I said I just wanted to get healthy. So I did that. And within that year, between 49 and 50, I lost, and I've kept off 30 pounds, 30 plus pounds. Just changed my eating habits, started exercising, doing a little strength training and all of that. So when I turned 50, I was in the best shape I had been in years. I also decided at 50 that I wanted to take control of my health from here on out. So when I turned 50, one of my first priorities was to just get a complete physical, go to my doctor, which I did. When I went to my doctor, everything was great except for my PSA, the blood test that they do, taking your blood like a regular blood test, but they also, in that test, they look at the PSA, which is the specific marker for prostate in men and prostate cancer. And that number was high, so my doctor recommended that I see a urologist. And a week or two later, I went to a urologist, and the first thing he did was to have me take another PSA. And when I took that one, the number was still very high. It was an 11. So for those of you who know about numbers and PSA, you know that 11 is very, very high. It should be between 1 and 3, and mine was an 11. So that caused my urologist to order a biopsy. And a biopsy is basically when they go into your prostate and they take some samples just with a needle. It's not painless, but it's very little pain associated with the biopsy. It wasn't a big deal. And from the samples that they take and they send back to the lab, they can better determine what you're dealing with. So I'm in great shape, not having any problems urinating or any of the other symptoms that sometimes exist with prostate cancer. But my numbers were high and my biopsy came back. My urologist shared with me that that there was some cause to be concerned because some of the cells were cancerous. And of course that was alarming. You know, I know some people hear what would be considered bad news and react a certain way. I have to share with you right up front that I am a man of faith. As a matter of fact, I happen to be a pastor. And for me, my faith kicked in and simply said, okay, if this is what's in front of you, I know that God is with me. He will be with me, give me what I need for this journey. So I just kind of sucked it up and put my, Rambo paint on and said, okay, let's go after this. It's coming after me. So I'm going to come after you. So the biopsy, the diagnosis was a pretty aggressive form of the cancer in my prostate. The good news after a few other tests was that it had not spread outside of my prostate to my bones or any other areas. So it was specifically located there. And that I had really taken control of my health. So I wasn't overweight. I wasn't in any other danger health-wise other than this latest revelation. So from that, I began to talk to my doctor about the second area I want to share with you about treatment. I'm going to try to keep these videos under 10 minutes so that it won't be too much for people. And if I get to that point and have to stop, we'll just pick up at the next one. So for me, 50 years old, in good shape, not along with the biopsy, the blood test. The other thing for men, and this is so important, is a digital rectal exam. And it's basically your doctor putting his finger in your rectum and filling your prostate through the rectum to see if there's any lumps or any tumors, any growths that are detectable. And I know, especially for African American men, this is kind of taboo. You know, I ain't letting nobody put their finger in my rear end and all of that. But look, brothers, we gotta live, and I want to live. So you know, I had it done. It wasn't bad. You know, nobody wants it done, but come on, it's nothing compared to living. So after that, the doctor didn't find anything through that exam, but the biopsy did confirm that there were cancerous cells in my prostate, and we began to talk about options for treatment. That's the second area. And for me, the two options for treatment were surgery or radiation. And I talked to my doctor, my surgeon, about surgery. I got a second opinion about surgery, and then I did a consult with a radiation oncologist to talk about the option of radiation. And basically, between the two, the surgeon and the radiation oncologist, both of them were very viable options for me with my condition, with the state of my prostate and the diagnosis. And both of them were saying, hey, the other one, you know, either one of these works, you can just choose. And because of that, I chose surgery. And the reason I chose surgery personally, and I'm sure there's people who will debate this, but from what I've read and what I've studied on my own, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm a pastor. But I've always been nosy and one who loves to research and study. I actually wanted to be a doctor as a kid. That's a whole nother story for another time. But after studying, and talking to my doctor, that it seems like if you choose radiation before surgery, many times it's difficult to have surgery if you still need it following radiation. I hope I'm clear with that. But if you do surgery, if you choose surgery, and after surgery there still may be some traces of cancer, and you need to do radiation, then you can do radiation with much more ease than the other way around. I hope I said that the right way. I'm more than willing to correct that if someone watches this and disagrees and can present something more factual. But I chose surgery. I know some people just choose surgery, like just cut it out of me, get it out. But surgery is a big deal. It involves radical prostatectomy, involves completely removing the prostate. Now, I'm not going to go into the technical stuff with the prostate, but I chose to have my prostate removed. As a matter of fact, as I'm taping this video, it's been a little over 1 week since I had my surgery. And the surgeries that they do for prostates now, for prostate now, is usually the robotic surgery with a robotic machine they call the Da Vinci. That's what I had. Not as invasive as surgery used to be with men, where they would cut you open. There used to be a lot of bleeding and a lot of loss of male functions, including erectile and incontinence and all of that. Well, with the robotic surgery, thankfully, a lot of those things are saved and spared because of the accuracy of the robotic surgery, which I had just a week ago. And as you can see, a week in, I've gotten stronger every day, and I'm getting stronger. And I really want to encourage you in this first video to take control of your own health, especially if you're an African American man. Don't wait until where you've ignored your body so long and you go to the doctor and you're behind now because you waited so long. But if you're 40 and older, you should go, please, brother, go get your prostate examined, go get a PSA, go to your doctor, get checked, and go from there. You'll probably be okay. But if, like me, you get some news, now you know what you're dealing with and you can handle it and you can move forward. And more than anything, you can win. I'm winning, and I'm praying that you will too. I'll come back again. If you follow me, I'll talk to you in the next video about moving forward from surgery, what this first week has been as I'm moving towards my second week. A lot to share about, what happens to your body, the pain, the challenges of life after surgery. But I think that's enough for now. Thanks for watching. Peace.